Hey, this is Notser, and this is Untitled. This week we're talking about the community event, Torpedobeats, and ranked play. How has that been going? And I'll let you know. So you might hear that I'm not 100%. I'm definitely sick. I didn't stream today. I didn't think I could talk for 6 hours. My vocal cords are so shot from this sickness. It's just the way it works out. But we can talk enough for Untitled. So the community event, it was 12 versus 12, just random ship setups, torpedoes only, secondaries only, aircraft, all for fun, all in the name of fun. And we had, I think, 30 people in a channel, so there were excess people. I tried to limit my comments to a nice joke payoff or something like that, just because there's so many people in the channel. I'm just actively thinking of ways to make people laugh, and I had a lot of fun doing a lot of the torpedo focused rounds because it's just a pleasure dodging and getting close to targets. It's really good at practicing your feel for what's coming up. I was pleasantly surprised by the German forward-facing torpedoes. The jousting was very cool. But the community event was way better than the previous one because it was really relaxed. I felt like I have more fun doing stuff like that than having a full-fledged 3 to 5 games where it's hardcore, let's make the meta break. I mean, it's just cry some more passive play meta. I don't like that. I do recognize that some of the community contributors don't like that, though, and you know what? That's fine, too. If they don't like it, they don't have to participate. I also recognize that some people wanted to stream, and they wanted to do it no matter what. I was encouraged heavily to not stream, and I respected that. It was my off day, though. I didn't really care. I was willing to volunteer streaming if we couldn't get a really high-quality stream point of view, but we did, so it's not a big deal. But some of the people who did confirm that they would participate didn't ultimately participate because they didn't get their way. And I think the best way to treat that is don't give up. Don't give in. There's a lot of politics that go on in the background. I'm sure you're aware, where people say stuff and they demand things, and if they don't get their way, they just collapse and leave or whatever. And a lot of times people feel like, oh yeah, we'll let you come in. We'll do it your way. But that's not the right way to do it. There's not a single person that we need for the community event to be better. It's more of a collection of people who generally speak their mind, and hopefully they have some humor behind it. That's what I see it as. It was nice to get some people that I, didn't get to play with the previous time, and it was a really nice event, honestly. I just can't complain. I feel like it worked out pretty well. But some of the matchups were a little stale. I felt like the Z-52, the Atlanta. I was on the point of view of the Missouri. We dominated the enemy team, but I could see how that was like that was just a regular game, and whoever got the flank won the game, right? Yeah. The best events, I felt like, were related to torpedoes. The torpedoes only is just so humorous that honestly, I would like to see like some longer range torpedoes or some large ships that have torpedoes and just see how effective it would be or would not be. There were definitely moments where I felt like, oh my god, I'm going to get hit. And we either avoided the torpedo or we didn't. But it was such a huge relief, stressful event when you're trying to avoid the torpedoes. It was just so fun. And wow, I'm getting real dizzy just talking about this. It's only been like 5 minutes, but the torpedoes were just great. The V-25s, the forward-facing torpedo, the jousting, that was really fun too. It's great practice for me. I can't complain. That's exactly what I want, is the chance to try something out that I just can't do normally. Normally, everyone is using every tool in their arsenal to kill you. But in these community events, we can just, say, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that today. I'm trying to think of what ship or combination would be funny. I really do feel like maybe a British cruiser and torpedoes only would be humorous, or maybe even a battleship with torpedoes, just because it would be ridiculous trying to see these large ships try and dodge out of the way. We did an aircraft carrier setup, and as predicted, it was massively chugging the server, but it was fun. I posted that just because I needed content, and I was starting to feel bad at that point, and I felt like it was probably the most unique experience that a player could have, because most people, oh yeah, sure, we could go in the training room, we could queue up with 12 versus 12, and we could see how it was, but my PC was chugging, and I have a super PC. So only imagine most of the community tried to do that. They would probably get 0 frames or 1 or 2 frames. It would look like a slideshow. And yes, some people were like, why did you wait until like halfway through to use defensive fire? Because I forgot I had defensive fire. I went a full AA build. I wasn't confident in my ability to drop manually with the amount of aircraft and the amount of overlap by the enemy. I was just trying to wear them down to a point where maybe we got into a melee combat scenario, maybe ram. But if I used my defensive fire as often as I should have, I would not have died as quickly as I did. Just the way it worked out. But it was cool. It was cool. I'm glad I'm not the worst aircraft carrier captain, and it's very obvious that I'm not the best. So we're gonna be working on it, obviously. Not when I'm sick, of course. That's doesn't it suck to get sick? It just sucks. It really sucks. Thankfully, I wasn't sick for the event. This really started happening as I was playing the event. I was like, ugh, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. But I could still make funny jokes. So, community event, A+ from my point of view. Really enjoyed it. Only thing I would change is probably get a little bit more extreme on the cases. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we would go weird matchups where we'd have like a tier 10 go up against all these tier 1s or 2s or something weird like that, you know, just to have fun. Just to have fun. But I mean, the majority of the games were great. Absolutely great. So, ranked play. Well, I'm at 7. I almost got to 6 on Friday. Didn't play at all since I've been sick and the community event. I am trying to make a push. I did. Alright, so people are like, why don't you have a 19 skill commander? Because I was greedy. I wanted to get credit income, and I wanted to train commanders. Well, I broke down, and now I have 19s in those ships. I just want to get it over with, and I don't want to have any excuses. It's just the way it works out. Worst case scenario is you get the elite XP, and you can just use it on commanders that you want to skill up, which is nice. It's much better than it previous was. But ranked play, how has ranked play been for you? Well, I think it's been great. You're definitely settling into a lot of cruiser play, a lot of the same type of ships at 7 through 5, 7 through 10, you know, 10 through 1. But that's okay. I really like the Shiratsuyu, the Sims, the Scharnhorst, the Belfast. I looked at my stats. I've got like an 80% win rate with a Belfast that doesn't even have 10 skill commander, and now I'm gonna have a 19. So watch out. Same with the Scharnhorst. We're just gonna go full hardcore and try and win these games for you guys and get rank 1. I hope that it's enjoyable for you to see my frustration. There are times where I'm embarrassed by my reaction, but I also understand that I'm human. But there's nothing I don't hold any grudges. I don't blame a person for, you know, probably the closest I got was when I asked the guy, "Hey, I'm going to scout for you." And he says, "Okay." Well, then he follows me, and I don't understand why he followed me when he gave me the okay that he was scouting, but I'm not going to call out a guy's name. I'm not going to, you know. It's just the nature of the business. You're trying to compete against other players and win the match. And you feel like I've communicated enough to the person that they understand what they're trying to do, but clearly they don't. How has ranked been for you? I mean, I'm into the territory where I'm getting those weird modules. I haven't had a single urge to use them. They are absolutely so bad. The modules that replace your main damage improvement slot, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? I'm not using that module. I think that was probably the most humorous slot that they asked me to replace. Other slots, I think there's one that competes with concealment. I'm like, no, there's no way, unless it made me like a Super Saiyan or something. I'm not putting that in. No, 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 no. And I'm sure there was humorous jokes on the subreddit where they're like, oh, look, 500,000 in credits. And it's just the module that they got. And it's like, yeah, we get it. I'm obviously not selling it because they might make it good. You never know. You never know with wargaming. And I know my super container luck is terrible. I'm not going to get in a super container. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But that's just what we have to deal with, right? At some point, they're going to realize, oh, this isn't good enough. We have to buff it, or they won't touch it, and it's just the way it works out. Can't change it. All I could do is do my best for you. And speaking of doing my best, I think Tuesday I'm going to stream the World of Warships. I don't like missing days, and I just feel like it's hard right now. I can feel the throat. I just don't want to talk. Don't want to talk, eh, Notser? Well, guess what? That's kind of hard when you're telling us about your week. It's like, I know. It's really hard. But that's just the nature of the job. I like the job a lot. I feel like it's really, really cool that I can do this. So yeah. The community event, if I could just go back to the community event, I just have to say, everyone is so nice. At least, they're very nice up front. What they say behind my back, whatever. I'm not gonna stoop to anyone's level if they have to badmouth me or the community event or whatever. It's just really nice to be able to meet people that I have so much respect for and talk to them and have fun with them and see them out there, go after them. I'm sure a lot of you have played against a lot of people that participated in this, and you saw how people were. I would like to believe that my torpedo dodging ability is very high. A lot of people were commenting that, wow, you're still full life, and it's like, yeah, I will overextend at times, but I'm trying to get a kill, And then some people are much better than I am at the aircraft carrier or arcing their shells over islands. There were a couple times with the Atlanta where a target was detected by radar, and I knew that the shell would arc over the island and hit the person and force them out of that position, and it worked out great. The problem with the Atlanta game is that you're just so afraid of dying that everyone's so passive and behind islands. The Torpedoes system is much better at getting people closer, and then you can have that mistake that will cost them their life. For the secondary Bismarck, I think I should have gone inertia fuse high explosive just because there was so much fire on all the targets that I didn't really get to benefit all the time from my high fire chance. And that's probably my mistake, just misreading the situation, and I'll just have to do it better the next time. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed it. I will have more content related to that if you missed the torpedo stuff. The Torpedobeats were real. So the Shimakaze, the V25, there was another torpedo only, the Dirtski. Those will be posted just because there are so many close calls for my ship. It was very fun. It was very fun from my point of view, and I think sometimes I make comments and people are, oh man, you have iChase, who's sort of the host, and he's commenting about what he sees, and he's like, oh, Notser, here is the torpedo, gotta get him! Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. And of course, it doesn't get me, and I survive, and I try and get in position. I was chasing down White Mouse at one point, and she was just so good at avoiding my torpedoes. Mouse. But it's fun. It's really fun. Most of the people in the community contributors are just great people. I really appreciate Ship Comrade. If you like the event, you should definitely support Ship Comrade and his website, shipcomrade.com. It's a great talent resource. You can see what other people build, and they vote it up. I think it's great, obviously. So I appreciate everyone listening to my Untitled. I'm sorry if I sound bad. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.